Hello everyone, welcome to this tropical update. So let's see some main things happening around the tropics. So there's tropical storm Gordon in the Atlantic, another tropical storm in the Pacific, potentially a typhoon towards China and Japan, and some very heavy rains near Southeast Asia. So we'll check some areas of higher concern first, and then we'll move on to the other areas. So feel free to skip ahead to your part of the video. The timestamps are in the description too. So the most immediate threat is tropical storm Ileana in the Eastern Pacific. It's very close to Mexico already, and still affecting like Cabo San Lucas, about to affect La Paz and other parts of Baja California. So here is Ileana, and let's see, nothing else on the next 7 days expected, but let's see. So tropical storm Ileana will bring heavy rainfall to portions of western Mexico and Baja California through this weekend. This heavy rainfall will bring a risk of flash flooding and mudslides in those areas. Tropical storm conditions are expected to begin in portions of the Baja California Sur during the next several hours, where tropical storm warnings are in effect. So please be careful there. Let's see this in Spanish. La tormenta tropical Ileana trae a fuertes lluvias a porciones del oeste de México y sur de Baja California hasta este fin de semana. Esta fuerte lluvia trae riesgo de inundaciones repentinas, deslizamientos de tierra a porciones de estas zonas. Se espera que las condiciones de tormenta tropical comiencen en porciones de Baja California Sur en las próximas horas, donde hay avisos de tormenta tropical. Entonces, muchas precauciones con esta lluvia fuerte en los vientos. Good, so let's see, we still have the tropical storm warnings there, some tropical storm watches further north in the western coast of Mexico and other areas there, so please be careful. The tropical storm wind field is still a little bit off the coast, but there's already a lot of rain there, so be careful. The rainfall expectation still shows like some 8 to 12 inches possible in parts of western Mexico, 200 to 300 millimeters, so please be careful there. This might cause a big mudslide threat and stuff, and 8+ inches locally in Baja California Sur, so be careful there as well. Might be some flooding and landslides, and some more rain throughout western Mexico, so please be careful there. The tropical storm force wind probabilities are higher there already in the southeastern tip of Baja California Sur, and hurricane 50 knot winds, no probabilities. This is not a very strong tropical storm, and it shows already there today the winds will affect, and by Saturday and late today some more winds further north into Mexico, so please be careful there. Let's see here, Ileana, it shows that's the same general path into the Gulf of California and Mexico there, but it will dissipate there in the Gulf of California before it goes north, because there'll be some remnant moisture that will bring some rain to parts of the US, especially Arizona and New Mexico, but only some rain, nothing crazy. We explained in the severe weather video better. So let's see the intensity guidance, tropical storm and weakening later, so nothing crazy, just be aware. Let's see, so this is the GFS, we have the storm there now, takes it there and dissipates, and will bring a lot of heavy rain there. Then this is the European, there's the storm there, goes there and kind of dissipates, and later still nothing crazy showing up. Not even on the GFS. Let's see if there's something. Just more rain throughout Central America in many areas. Even has a tiny system or two, but not really developing. So be aware there, and especially with the rainfall. Let's see maybe some other models for rain there. Shows the European, especially this westernmost part of Mexico, Los Montes, those areas, shows 76 millimeters, and like some 81 millimeters, but the rainfall expectation from the National Hurricane Center show like close to 200 millimeters. So you never know. Sometimes because these models might have a weaker here, so they might show less. But let's see, some 60 millimeters in other areas. And let's see the icon, for example. The icon is like the National Hurricane Center. It's showing like 200 millimeters, 300, 200, 100. But the icons is exaggerating a lot this season with the system. So just, I trust more like the European. Be careful with the heavy rains there and stay safe. Let's see here. The wind gusts shows those very gusty winds today, like 60 kilometers per hour, gusts or higher. Then it goes there, some gusty winds throughout these parts of western Mexico, in the Gulf of California, but nothing that crazy. Maybe some higher surf too. So stay safe there and be careful. Maybe some storm surge, but this is not a very strong storm. So be aware. Now let's see our next big threat. They're close to Japan. There's tropical storm bebinca there, approaching the southern islands of Japan, near Amami and Okinawa especially. Then it shows becoming a typhoon in the East China Sea and making landfall just south of Shanghai as a typhoon, 120 km per hour sustained winds typhoon. So there's a bunch of big population areas there, like Hangzhou, Shanghai, very close to where this will land. So please be careful there. Another big storm headed for China. So let's see here. For example, precipitation. Wait. Here, so it shows the system approaching there. So some very heavy rain is expected in those areas just south of Amami. Might be some very strong winds too. So let's see here the storm. So this is the official track. They have it there crossing the southern islands of Japan, going towards China, just south of Shanghai there. So let's see this a little bit closer. Shows right south of Amami there, near Okinawa and those areas. So please be careful there. Let's see maybe some models here. So this is the GFS. It shows going there as a strong tropical storm, even a typhoon. That pressure is like a typhoon already. Then it goes into China as a typhoon there, and then let's see, but nothing very strong, but will cause a lot of impacts. So let's see. This the European shows a 971 typhoon entering in the southern islands of Japan. So I think by what these models are showing, it might be very bad there, but the European strengthens this more before it gets to China, gets down to a 955 typhoon before landfall in China, and it goes practically over Shanghai there. So that will be very, very troubling. There's the icon. It shows the storm there, goes as a weak, as just a tropical storm there in Japan, and then goes as a typhoon to China there with some greater impacts. So please be careful. There's the Canadian too, and but let's better see like some hurricane models. Shows like bebinca there, goes, passes through the southern islands of Japan, some very heavy rains, some nasty storms and storm surge possible in some of those islands. Then it goes into China with some more storm surge, especially along those rivers there, those bays, and then some more heavy rain. And even those rain bands, like I say, in the hurricanes in the Atlantic, that there's a tornado threat. Same thing goes for the Pacific there in China, so be aware with those storms, some water spouts and storm surge and everything. So stay safe. Then it goes into China there and starts dissipating. So there's another hurricane model. It takes it. Let's see. Wait, it's here. This is the H-Wharf. It takes it there. Let's see. passes through the southern islands of Japan. It's kind of hard to see here, but let's see. It goes and it really strengthens the storm there. So even before it gets to like the southern islands of Japan, it strengthens very strong, but this runs like from September 10th, so let's not trust this. There's new information already. So bear sure like the halves B, it has, let's see, wait, does it have this storm? I don't think so. So let's see if another model has it. So halves B here. So let's just see this other one. Wait, because or we checked like the GFS closer up, so it shows there passes through the southern islands as like a strong tropical storm, then goes as a typhoon into China there. So please be careful. Let's see some impacts here in terms of rainfall first. So there's the storm there, and there's that tiny island there. I think it belongs to Japan, so be aware there as well. But then it takes it there, the worst rain like over Amami there. So this the European model shows more than 162 millimeters in Amami, in Kikai too, more than 160, 150 millimeters in some other areas. So a little better further south in Naha and some other areas, so not as bad of impacts there, but it will be worse in Amami there. Near Toshima might have some heavy rain. For further north shows some very heavy rain as well. Then this tracks towards China. Doesn't have crazy amounts now, but it has like more than 150 millimeters just south of Shanghai. Let's see, 135 millimeters, 143, so please stay safe there. Let's see, if we put this further here, it continues into China there, but some spots might get close to 200 millimeters, but not a catastrophic storm, but there'll be a lot of impacts. Now the GFS showing more like a straight path, goes there just south of Amami, close to 100 millimeters, even more. If you zoom, you can see more like 117 millimeters or more. Then it strengthens more in the East China Sea. And the GFS has this making landfall in China with more than 156 millimeters of rain, 167. Some more areas there close to 200 millimeters in some populated areas, 201 millimeters. Let's see, around Shanghai, not as much, but there'll be rain as well, gusty winds, 162 millimeters in other areas. So there might be a lot of some flash flooding and urban flooding as this comes through there, and storm surge, so be careful. The icon has a lot of rain as well, like 232 millimeters in spots. Let's see, those more coastal areas, 190 millimeters, so this will cause a lot of flooding. And then the southern islands of Japan has a passing way south of Amami there, like 126 millimeters. So stay safe there. Let's see, the waves, let's see the European. The waves will also be bigger with this, especially in Japan. There might be some dangers of rip currents because of the swells from this in Japan, Taiwan, and China. So be aware of rip currents. And then it shows as it passes through Amami, close to 6-meter waves there. Might be storm surge, so be careful. Then it goes into China, strengthens even more. Some swells might affect the Koreas and Japan still. And then it starts going to China like 5-meter waves, 5 to 6-meter waves, even near Shanghai there. Some high waves too, maybe some storm surge. So be careful there. Stay safe. Wind gusts shows like each model has a different strength, but let's just have an idea. So the European shows like 108 kilometer per hour gusts in Amami, so some very gusty winds might cause some localized damage in some areas of those islands, so be careful. In Toshima, some gusty winds further north too. Then it has this going the South China Sea, strengthening and approaching the coast of China. Like these tiny coastal towns in those islands are in very high danger because like those are tiny islands against a big typhoon. So like 129 kilometer per hour winds, 130 kilometer per hour gusts. So these are just the occasional gusts, not the winds during the whole storm, just the occasional gusts. Then it shows this going into China, like more than 161 kilometer per hour gusts, and around Shanghai, more than 100 kilometer per hour gusts occasionally, and more further south. So this might cause a lot of damage there, but it's just a forecast. It's still uncertain what will happen. Shows like 164 kilometer per hour gusts as this goes in there. So please be careful. It might be some remnant gusty winds as it goes inland as well. So the time of landfall is around like Sunday into Monday, especially Monday, early on Monday in China there. So please be careful. The GFS has some very gusty winds in Amami too as it passes there, like more than 88 km per hour gusts, 119 km per hour gusts there in southern islands of Japan, so please be careful. Then it goes into China there, close to 130 km per hour gusts, so some very damaging winds there too in China, so stay safe. Please be careful there. And now let's see our next systems. Now in the Atlantic we have Tropical Storm Gordon there. It has recently been upgraded. We have this new area there now at 40%. Yesterday was like 30. So let's see, a non-tropical area of low pressure could form along a frontal boundary a few hundred miles off the southeastern US coastline this week, and thereafter a low pressure may develop into a subtropical or tropical characteristics, and a subtropical tropical depression could form by early next week, where the system was generally northwestern towards the coast. Additional information, yes, so 10 and 40% chance there. There's this other small system, but it's now at 0% because there's a lot of wind shear there and stuff. So this will just bring some more storms in the Caribbean there and some more gusty rain. And this is Gordon. It will mainly stay out to sea, so no threat from this. But it's now a tropical storm, expected to weaken to a depression again, and maybe to a storm again, because when it gets further north, it might have a greater chance of strengthening, like we can see on the ensembles here from the European. Shows a storm there. Potential when this gets like further north, shows some stronger members, like potential hurricane possible further north. You might have to watch this in the Azores later in some other areas. But in the rest of the Atlantic, maybe a signal or two in the Caribbean, but mainly some storms. No tropical development expected. Some stuff near Africa, but nothing crazy expected as well. So just monitor this, and in the coast of the Carolinas, some more support from the European today, but the operational European still not showing anything. So there's the GFS, shows Gordon there, but a little less support, but still might go north and become a hurricane there in the Atlantic, and shows more non-tropical systems spinning everywhere, and more support for the system near the Carolinas there. So might have to watch there as well. Even shows some low pressures in the Caribbean, maybe Central American gyre, trying to spin up things into Florida and Cuba, but still like very low confidence on that and very far out, so take that as a grain of salt. But shows maybe some stuff near Africa later to watch, but nothing that crazy. So we'll keep monitoring, but be aware. Let's see. So this is the European Perseus 0Z. It shows Tropical Storm Gordon there. It keeps going, kind of weakens due to dry air wind shear, but then it goes north into the Atlantic and starts strengthening more. Wait, let's see. As you can see there, this is by September 21st. We might have a hurricane Gordon there in the Atlantic, so, and it might try to affect the Azores in Europe later as a non-tropical storm. So let's see, from the system, the Carolinas, it shows moisture there, but it does show eventually a low pressure spinning up just east of the Outer Banks, but it goes quickly into the coast and might not be designated, but it does show a lot of rain there and that low pressure forming, so better watch in the Carolinas there. Might be a quick depression, but the GFS has another idea. It spins this up quicker and takes a tropical storm into North Carolina there by September 17th, so in this scenario could have more impacts there, so we better watch. and it has Gordon there. Gordon weakens significantly, but then it survives again and goes north and strengthens into the Atlantic. So, and later it's showing a lot of moisture and some systems passing by Jamaica and Cuba by like the 22nd, but nothing tropical, just a bunch of storms and moisture to watch later there, maybe on the Pacific. So we'll keep monitoring. There's the Canadian, it shows, let's see, Gordon there, very weak, then it might dissipate, so the Canadian is not reforming it, but the system, the Carolinas, it takes a lot of heavy rain there by Monday, but it doesn't form anything tropical. The icon has, let's see, Gordon there, it goes, kind of weakens, and then, let's see, and the icon has this approaching the Caribbean there, but eventually curving north into the Atlantic, so this will go north, so don't worry about this in the Caribbean, but you never know. The icon also has a Hurricane Gordon later, going out into the Atlantic. And the system, the Carolinas, it shows low pressure there, kind of spinning up and going towards Virginia, North Carolina to watch, but nothing very strong. We will just like watch and keep a close look. So let's see here. Here's Gordon. Most of the tracks take this further west and curves the north into the Atlantic. Some models have this into a hurricane later, but only like very later, after 130 hours. And some models don't even strengthen this up again. So we'll watch this, but nothing that crazy. So let's see. And there's this rain in the Caribbean there, that's invest 94L, now at a 0% chance of forming. But you'll still bring a lot of storms northeastern Caribbean today, tomorrow, Puerto Rico, Virgin Islands might have more storms from this, so be aware. Here's the satellite, it shows some very fragmented moisture, nothing organized, but some storms throughout Puerto Rico, the northeastern Caribbean, even in the Windward Islands further south, some storms. So rain accumulation next 5 days doesn't seem like much, but shows like some 10 millimeters, 9 millimeters, but some storms might be heavier when they cross by, especially in Puerto Rico, so be aware there. Shows like in Barbados, St. Lucia's, some 13, 15 millimeters, might be a heavier storm or two, and some more rain throughout the islands there, might be in form of thunderstorms or just showers, but mainly thunderstorms, so be aware, but nothing crazy. In the Cabo Verde, the Europeans showing some more heavy rain, especially in the southern part of the Cabo Verde. Next 5 days, might be some more systems crossing there, trying to form. And in Cuba, he has some more accumulation, like 60 to 70 millimeters. Might be some bigger storms there, especially in the afternoon. Cayman Islands, some passing showers and storms. Jamaica, storm or two. Dominican Republic, Haiti, maybe some afternoon storms too. Bahamas and Cuba shows this band of more moisture, especially in the Bahamas, more showers and storms, so be aware. And for Central America, just more showers and storms, especially Nicaragua, next 5 days. Costa Rica might have some heavier showers in some spots. And in Panama, might have some more showers and storms, and some might be heavy because of the stuff from Colombia there that drifts into Panama. Those are usually some heavy storms in Colombia too, western Colombia. Guatemala might have some heavier storms throughout southern Mexico, be aware. And Belize, southern Belize especially, might be some storms in the Yucatan, but nothing that crazy. So the model shows like those storms maybe in Jamaica, Cuba, a storm or two, especially in the Bahamas and Cuba there. Shows throughout Mexico, Central America, especially Central Mexico might have a lot. Near Belize and Guatemala sometimes, and more throughout there, especially like next Wednesday shows more through Cuba, Mexico, Guatemala, and some areas there. So nothing crazy, just be careful during showers and storms. Some might be heavy. For Mexico shows like Central Mexico, 78 millimeters, even more. So maybe some heavier rains, some heavier storms during the day for Central Mexico. So be careful there. Maybe some heavier storms. And now in the Pacific, we still have next 5 days a lot of heavy rain in Guam there, more than 200 millimeters, some more in the Mariana Islands. Especially in the Philippines, the European is really crazy with this in the Philippines, showing more than 500 millimeters in the Philippines. So before I show you anything else, let's see what the model is kind of expecting. So it still shows that moisture lingering around Guam there, with more heavy rains in the Mariana Islands, especially today and Saturday. More heavy rains through Saturday the 14th, and show like really heavy as that a low pressure tries to spin up, so be careful in Guam. Might be some floods and stuff in Mariana Islands too. Then this drift north, potential to Japan later in some other areas. And then in the Philippines, we have the same situation, a lot of heavy rain crossing the South China Sea into the Philippines, especially like the western Philippines might have some heavier downpours, and throughout the central Philippines mainly. Might have a storm or two in the northern Philippines, some rain there, but mainly the central Philippines. Then the European keeps the heavy rain there until Tuesday, finally spins up potential tropical system just east of the Philippines, near Taiwan and Japan again there. So might have to watch there again. So back to the rain accumulation, it shows like the central Philippines, some more than 106 millimeters, 200 millimeters, especially those western shores there, 300 millimeters, like let's see, 100, 500 millimeters. So please be careful. There might be some considerable flooding in those areas as that moisture just plummets into the Philippines from that system forming. So please be careful there. Those areas in the South China Sea, those islands there, might be heavy as well. And the GFS has also a similar thing. So as you can see, the GFS is really crazy too, like 400, almost to 500 millimeters, in a big area there of the western Philippines into the South China Sea. So this will cause a lot of flooding there. Please be careful in the central western Philippines. Then in Guam, it also has like more than 200 millimeters next 5 days. 200 millimeters there. Palau might have some storms in Micronesia, but the worst will be just north. And let's see, if I put this to 2 days, it decreases a little bit because 5 days is more than 2 days, but it shows like alright 200 millimeters the next 2 days, and in the 5-day total like 400 millimeters. So please be careful there. And the model still shows like the moisture around Guam there in the Philippines. It gets together some very heavy rain, and it takes that big circulation north there, potential more storms towards Taiwan and southern islands of Japan in the next week. And especially in Japan, showing very big front next Thursday the 19th with some heavy rain there, and it tries to spin up a tropical system there by like the 22nd. So we better watch those areas for some tropical trouble later. So, and we have more problems near India and Bangladesh because we have this big area of low pressure there, so bursting some really heavy downpours in India and Bangladesh, especially India there. So right now, this is happening right now, some very heavy rain there. Please stay safe, flooding, landslides, and a bunch of stuff. We also have storms in Thailand, in Vietnam and Cambodia and Laos, so be aware there as well. And there in India, let's see, in the next 5 days, it doesn't show anything crazy, but like 200 millimeters will already cause flooding there across northeastern India, like northern India. So please be careful. There are a lot of heavy storms there and heavy rain. This moves further west with some more than 80, 100 millimeters of rain for further west there. So please stay safe there. Some more heavy rain just north of New Delhi, and through Nepal, some more areas there of rain. So be careful. Might be more storms too in the western coast of India. Some more rain and some storms in southwestern Sri Lanka as well. In the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, shows like more than 100 millimeters, especially the northern coast of Sumatra, more than 188 millimeters. So be careful, some heavy rains there. the Bay of Bengal as well. Near Thailand, shows like 178 millimeters in southernmost Thailand, into Malaysia there, northeastern Malaysia especially, northwestern, so shows some heavy rain too, especially in the sea there near Cambodia, like 160 millimeters, a lot of moisture in southern Thailand, 190 millimeters, and more storms through Thailand there, and Cambodia especially, some heavier storms from time to time, in Vietnam especially, close to 200 millimeters, so be aware there, be careful. And all those colored areas might have some showers and heavier storms because of the rains and everything, so be careful. Even northern Vietnam and more areas of Vietnam there, and to Laos of course, southern Laos more, but other parts of Laos as well. Southern China might have some more thunderstorms during the day and more showers, some might be heavy, and of course the typhoon, and it shows some more systems, some showers and storms for southern China too, and some more systems in the north, just south of Mongolia, into North Korea there, in South Korea, some more rain, especially to North Korea, and Japan, it's showing like next 5 days, heavier than 88 millimeters, 90 millimeters in some areas of central Japan, so be aware. There's near the coast too, shows like some areas in northern Japan, some more rain, so be careful. This is just a forecast, it will change, but the model now has some storms in southern Japan, and then it has this front by like Sunday with some more storms crossing Japan, and it calms down a little bit, but next week it shows some other moisture into southern Japan with some storms, and a bigger front with heavier rain there in Japan like next Friday, the 20th, so we better watch that as well. Let's see here. Still have more snow in parts of Tibet, northern Nepal, parts of Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan, Afghanistan, with the higher mountains there, Mongolia and Russia too, some more snow in northern Russia and eastern Russia, and be aware there. So let's see if this for some other areas. Myanmar shows more than 100 millimeters of rain too, maybe some heavier storms in all those colored areas. Bangladesh shows heavier than 124 millimeters, so maybe some heavier downpours there still, so please be careful there. Near the British territories, some are passing showers and storms. Near the Seychelles, we might have some more storms. And Madagascar shows some more rain in northeastern Madagascar, a shower or two in Mauritius, even like a shower or two in Comoros in some areas, but nothing crazy. So please stay safe there from the heavy rains and everything. Shows gusty winds with that system in the Bay of Bengal as well, like 76 km/h gusts in Bangladesh and near Myanmar from the system. As it goes into India, shows some gusty winds into northeastern India as well, as that low pressure goes there, especially like Tuesday as that low pressure tracks there. So be aware, and has this band of very gusty winds in the southern Bay of Bengal into the Philippines, just north of the Philippines, some gusty winds in the ocean too. So be careful because of all these active systems there, might be some gusty winds in those areas. Shows some gusty winds in the southern Indian Ocean too, near northern Madagascar, so be aware there. And this is mainly it. Stay safe from all those heavy rains, tropical systems and everything. Bye.